Good morning. I'm here if you want to sit. Yeah, like Carol was saying, the chairs are awful close together.
Yeah. Spread out.
Nobody wants to sit in front row.
But I can see.
Might actually end up standing.
That's not good.
Before I start, I'm Casey Jenkins, Area 10 Director. I was told to tell you by Jeff that to remind you all if you're president or vice president education or carrying a proxy and you haven't gotten your credentials, please see all of that. She's over in the bookstore and make sure you get your credentials. And with that, we'll go on with, I'm here to introduce Cindy today. Having a plan B. How many times do you get up on Monday morning thinking, oh, but come Friday, yahoo! What if every day you worked your passion, your dream, something you loved? What if it take turns with your humdrum days into something new and exciting? Do you keep saying, what if? Someday I want to? Have you seen people living a life you would love to think, how can I get some of that? Dreams, possibilities, passions, do you have a plan? How can Toastmasters help you along the way? What will it make to take a plan B and put it into action? Cindy Survey began her journey into Toastmasters June of 2017. A Triple Crown holder, she has hit the ground running. As health and wellness coach, speaking to an audience is key, and through Toastmasters is a wonderful place to learn how to perfect her speaking and leadership skills. Cindy holds a master's certification in health and wellness coaching through the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute and is owner of the coaching practice called True to You. So please join me in welcoming Cindy Survey in having a B plan.
Welcome to the Toastmasters District 45 Convention, Having a Plan B presentation. My name is Cindy Sarve, as Casey mentioned. I am owner of True to You, which is a health and wellness coaching practice, where I help everyone kind of find their inner inspiration for being healthy. Bottom line, I walk with you, and I have found that that is my passion. How did I get there? That's what I'm going to tell you about today. From the beginning, these are my two kids. These are my inspiration, my cheerleaders, among many others. From the start, I went to high school, graduated high school at 19, decided I knew everything. Can people relate? So I decided that getting married at 19 was the thing to do. Of course, I knew nothing then. I will admit that now. I had 2 babies. I was divorced by 26. What does that have to do with anything? Well, college was never in my scope of anything. I worked full-time for Eversource Energy, which is the utility in New Hampshire. And they didn't have a great, they had a good reimbursement plan, but it wasn't enough to compensate what I would need to go back to school. And it really wasn't in the cards. I had family support, but 2 kids in tow, they didn't want to be babysitting all the time. And let's face it, going back to school is a lot of work. So with that was put on the back burner. So I never really knew what my purpose was. What am I in it for? I just went along, worked full time, took my vacations, raised my kids. There they are, they lived. Seeds of a future. This guy, it's my brother. I'm gonna cross over here. He knows how to walk the walk. He's the all-star of the family. He's the one that could do no wrong in my mom's eye, went to college, was in the Air Force, that little guy up there. I was the one that got divorced and had 2 kids and was raising them on my own. I didn't do too bad, and I'm pretty proud of all these facts of my own. So I looked to my brother, he's my little brother, for advice, help, guidance. And I appreciated everything he gave me. And along the way, Eversource Energy went from being Public Service of New Hampshire to Northeast Utilities to Eversource. 3 times, 3 mergers, and what comes with mergers? Layoffs. Each layoff was a different phase of my life, so it started when my kids were little, and at that time I really didn't have any plan to do anything except work my full-time job, pray I didn't get laid off, and keep going. My plan B at the time was if I did get laid off, sell the house, move in with my parents, and be that person. But thank goodness it didn't happen. He planted seeds. What do you want to do? What are you interested in? Why can't you go back to school? So it was always something. Fast forward. Daughter grows up, has her own opinions. It's funny how all that works too. But little did I know that her opinions would matter. She was in high school, and both my kids went to private schools for reasons that is another speech for another time. But they were watching a movie, and she came running home. Mom, you've got to watch this movie. It will change your whole dynamic. Oh my goodness, what do you just have to watch this movie. Yeah. I'm not watching a school movie. She was persistent. That movie rocked my world. That movie was Food Inc. Food Inc. changed the dynamic of who I was, how I was going to live, and what my being was going to be. That movie was what I needed. That movie watered my seed. Who's this woman? That's the mother. That's my mother. She always wanted the best, like any mother ever did. Always do what you can. Oh, you did a great job. She was always that safety net. If I had a problem, Mom, what am I going to do now? She'd give me options. Mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Remember the seed? So that fueled that seed. With Miracle Grow, we'll say, although I wouldn't use Miracle Grow, but we'll just use it for argument's sake. That seed pushed me to really looking into what I was going to do with my newfound passion. That seed pushed me to the Dr. Seals Wellness Institute. Backstory to this is I was sitting at the kitchen table. I'm a single woman, so I was flipping through a magazine. My passion had already started, so I was already digging into different health and wellness things, and right in front of me was an article on health coaching. So I dug. I found Dr. Sears. I joined up for 2 of their programs. The Primetime Health is a 40 and over nutrition program, and the Lean Start is a family-oriented nutrition program. So I signed up to both of those. I'm certified in both of those presentations. And then, why stop there, right? I'm on a roll. Continue watering that plant, and I wanted to work with people one-on-one. In order to do that, I needed to get some really good personal skills and develop them. So I took the Master Certification class, which has done that. Oh, this story does not end here. We all have that friend, the one that we can kind of get in trouble with. You know the type? The one that says, come on, just give it a try. Meet Kelly. She is that friend. She poked me. Come try a Toastmasters meeting. A what? I'm like, I have too much on my plate. And honest to goodness, this is how the conversation went. I have too much on my plate. She said, just come to a meeting and check it out. Fine. Because you know, that friend, you just got to kind of like, all right, I'll do it, and I'll get you off my back. So I went to the meeting. I loved it. Imagine that. I've been in Toastmasters for 2 years now. I've done a contest with Sarah and Kelly, and I believe I came in 3rd place for an evaluator. Not bad for my first contest. So I'm digging it. I'm like getting in, both feet are wet now, you get out of my way. In the interim, I had an acquaintance that we used to work with, Kelly and I used to work with. And I just happened to reach out to her and I said, you won't believe this. I know you were involved in Toastmasters, and she was an area director, I believe. I said, I'm in Toastmasters. And the only thing she said to me was, you get what you put into it. And isn't that true? We can sit back and listen to speeches, but until we dive in and develop our speeches, we're not going to learn. And our feedback is golden nuggets, people. With that said, triple crown, because I hit the ground running. Kind of on a sidebar, Kelly not only is that friend, she's also my mentor. With a mentor, if you have a good mentor, they kind of push you along, and Kelly and I already have that great rapport. We've been friends for over 31 years, and she knows me, and I know her. And if anybody's gonna get me to do something, it's gonna be her. Of course, with everything I'm putting under my belt, I had to do something with it. Now I have a dream. I'm gonna start a business. I wanna help people. I've got my certification, I've got my master's certification. What am I gonna do with it? Now I have Toastmasters and I can talk in front of a group of people. Not too bad, does everybody agree? We could do it. True to You was born. True to You has a couple concepts to the name. I want my clients to be true to themselves. But true to themselves doesn't sound right, or true to me doesn't sound right. So true to you, because I want to pull that from each and every client that I have. That's how it became the name. That's my story. What's your story? Are you just humbly sitting in a job that you can't stand, or are you just getting by in life and hoping to retire? Do you have a passion button? Do you have something that you are like, gives you goosebumps when you talk about it, or sit on a box and that box just kind of like is your soapbox and you can tell the whole world about it for hours on end? Getting started, it was a little digging and not knowing what to do with, so the road was a little bumpy, but here's a couple things. If you lose your job tomorrow, then what? If your family member gets sick and you can't go to work every day and you have to take care of that family member, you can't just quit your job and throw finances to the wind. What are you going to do for a backup? Retirement. Is it a reality? Some people never save. Some people have no clue. Retirement, who wants to retire? They want to keep working, but do you want to keep working at a job that doesn't fulfill you? These are all questions I had. These are all things that I had to think about to fuel what I wanted to do. And it helps me bust my butt, to put it in any other term, to get to that point. So do you know what your purpose and passion is? Do you know what makes you excited? What makes you tick? What is passion? There was a couple definitions to this word. This is the only one I'm going to put up there. Ardent affection, love, a strong like or desire for or devotion to some activity, object, or concept. An object of desire or deep interest. Does anybody have that fire in their soul? Seriously, I'm asking, does anybody have that desire? They hop out of bed and are like, oh, take on the day because I'm doing what I love. So you know what it's like. It keeps life interesting. It's not humdrum, oh, Friday's here, thank God, get me out of this prison. I have a 4x4 cubicle, my little cell. I have a leash to my desk. Honestly, I'm like, I have a 5-year plan. And I'm hoping and praying that that 5-year plan comes true. Passion is the energy inside each of you. It exists in every one of you, depending if you're willing to tap into it or not. If you want to find it. People ask the question, what's your purpose? We all have a purpose, whether it's being a parent, a grandparent, teaching, educating, being a laborer, helping other people. We all have that purpose. It's finding it. So there's a couple of questions that I came up with, and because I'm a coach, I'm really good at questions. What is one thing, if you had an undivided attention of an audience, you could stand on a soapbox and talk for hours and never get tired of hearing yourself talk? Is there something you could talk about for a while? I could get going on GMOs. On the news today, I'll bring that in. They were talking about cow gas. I won't get into details, but that was a news broadcast. And my roomie said, I can't believe this is on there. I can't believe they think this is a thing. And I'm like, oh, it's a thing. But I said, I'm not gonna get there. I have to save myself for my presentation. So I didn't get on my soapbox then. But it's stuff like that. I don't have to research it. I can just go. I've had to learn how to contain myself because not everybody wants to hear my go. I have to know my audience. So what is something that you can lose track of time that you enjoy doing? Is it scrapbooking? Is it taking pictures? Is it reading a good novel? Is it volunteering at some place? What is that one thing? What makes you blissfully happy? We all have a happy button. Whether it's spending time with people we love, doing things we love, life is too short to be unhappy. We see every one of us has been affected by illness, not personally, but by our families. We see bad things happen all around us all the time, just put on the news. We need to be happy, but we need to find our happiness. And only you can do that. Nobody can point you. What isn't work or mundane that excites you? I can think of assembly line people doing the same thing every day, going to work, going home, going to work, going to home. I want to be doing something that I don't watch a clock with. I want to be doing something that I'm happy doing. It's all things that, I don't know if any one of you have ever thought of that. But it's all something that perhaps you should be thinking about. And it's never too late. I've listed a couple spots that I found where you can do assessments. Everyone is different. Everyone will score differently. If you take one assessment or another, it may come up with two totally different answers. In your handout, I have listed these. But there are many others out there. We have personality tests. We have spiritual gifts. We have Toastmasters pathways, people. Take that sucker. Take it again. Explore what it's telling you you may be good at. And if you don't like it, change it. We have the path right there to starting something great. Because in those paths, it will kind of help you explore some options you may have. And you might find your passion in one of those options. You don't know. Some of these you do have to pay for. That's my disclaimer. I've done a couple of them. I know my personality and my gifts and all that stuff. I didn't give you my results because I didn't want to taint you. So now that you might have an idea of what your passion may be, what are you going to do with it? There's one caveat to having a passion, and I kind of placed it here. If your passion is a hobby and you think you like it to grow into a business, make sure you don't deaden that hobby passion by calling it a job or making it work, because then it dies. And we've seen it happen to people that are gung-ho, the people that want to make, oh, I can do this and I can make money doing this, and then it becomes work. That's not the object of working your passion. If it's a hobby and you enjoy doing it, and you don't think that, you know, you're gonna be able to make a business out of it or make a go of it, don't just leave it as a hobby. Enjoy your hobby, make more time for that hobby. But if it's something like myself, I wanna share with anybody I meet how they can do it better, how they can get healthier, then I made it a business. Not my passion. If my business doesn't work, I've tried, but I'll still have that passion that I can do whatever I want to do with it. So how did I get started? With me, it started with a phone call. I called the Institute of Health and Wellness Coaching. They're a national organization. And I questioned them. I said, I saw your article. I said, this is what I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to be. Where do I get started? What do you recommend I do? They're the ones that pointed me to the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, because there are a bunch of places you can get certified. But they thought that that would have been the best for me. So that's what I did. Making that first phone call was key. It was important because without that first phone call, I was flailing. I didn't, you know, you have this list of places you can go to, but you don't know who's reputable. You don't know which one's the better one. Finding groups. There are many places, like through Meetup. I know that's an online group. Facebook has groups. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a huge business Facebook page. It's the only way I can explain it. It's a connection to business-minded people without the fluff of drama like Facebook. In fact, I find myself on LinkedIn more than I do on Facebook now, which is kind of comical, but I need Facebook to kind of engage with people. Local networking groups, find the like-minded people in your area. Find where they may be. Get up and go. It's all right there in front of you. Connect with others that inspire you. I have cheerleaders that surround me, and I make it a point to keep those cheerleaders right where they are, because those people are the ones that help me when I fall. They pick me up. They tell me I can do it. They tell me I can rock it. It's what I need, because we all have that little voice in our head that says, you can't do it. You're not good enough. What do you think you are? And if I'm the only one with that little voice, then I'm crazy. But I think you can all safely say, yeah, something in my life, I have a voice that I hear little things with. Keep Toastmasters in your back pocket. Why wouldn't you? You learn how to speak. Is anybody count knobs in here? How about double clutches? Nothing irks me more nowadays than going into a power meeting and the speakers on the stage have got the double clutches, the ahs, the so's, the ands, all the fillers, and it's like, I'm ready to go to the VP of the company and say, every one of your management team needs Toastmasters. I haven't done it yet, I'm not exactly that brave yet. So what are your next steps? If you have a seed that's been planted, water it. Let it sprout. Watch it grow.